this your first one today?
No, I've done a few before this one. Started bright and early.
Is it going to be the same questions for each one? I bet you're getting tired of saying the same things over again.
No, everybody's got their own take on things. It's fun.
And it's supposed to be about the cat myths? Everyone's branching out a bit?
Yeah, people are starting with that sometimes, and then, kind of heading off in their own direction.
Okay, well, you want to go ahead and start with the new MyBowl for cats? That would be great, and then maybe that's a change for you.
Absolutely. Now, the MyBowl for cats, it's a great new tool available to pet owners. They can go and learn about what balanced nutrition really means for their cats. Balanced nutrition is one of the best ways to help your cat live a long, healthy life. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to, how we should be feeding our cats and the like. And so if you look in front of me, I've got these plates here that show the differences in the nutritional needs of cats, people, and dogs. If we look at the cat plate, you can see about 33% protein and up to 25% fats and oils as being appropriate for cats. When you come over to the dog plate, you can see about 50% carbohydrates, and then to the human plate, about 50% fruits and veggies. And so I think you can see if you feed from the wrong plate, you could, really be running into some problems. So balanced nutrition is so important.
Yes, I think because there's about 30 different brands that you can get, and they all say something different on them. So I think that's probably what people have a problem with. They're like, this one says all fish, and this one says indoor formula.
You're right. The cat food labels are really, really confusing, and that's where the MyBowl tool can really come in handy. It's available on PetMD.com at the Nutrition Center, and owners can go there and learn about what they really need to be looking for on the cat food label, kind of getting through some of the marketing and the like. And there are two main things that I recommend my clients look for. First of all, ingredients. You want to be looking for healthy, all-natural ingredients that are correct, appropriate for cats. But in addition to that, and this is what's lost a lot of times, is you need to make sure that those ingredients are giving the correct proportion of nutrients. And that's where MyBowl is real handy. It gives you those proportions to look for. You can compare cat labels, make sure the food you're feeding is actually appropriate for your cat. If it isn't, pick one, that's going to do a better job for you.
That sounds great. It sounds like a great new tool online. Okay, I had a question though. I think that some people think that cats, if they eat weird things, it's because they're missing something in their diet. Is this true? Like if they eat plastic or?
Yeah, it can be. There's something called pica out there. That's what you're describing, but it's pretty rare, to be honest. Cats, they naturally eat some grass and that sort of thing, so that's all very normal. I think what owners really need to focus on is the food that they're feeding, though. Using that MyBowl tool, picking out the right food. One that I recommend to a lot of my clients is called Ideal Balance. It's an all-natural product. It provides balanced nutrition. It's made by Hill Science Diet. It's a real easy way to make sure your cat's getting everything that it needs, and isn't going to be searching elsewhere for it.
Okay. Well, I have 2 indoor cats myself, so.
Perfect.
That eat plastic.
Oh, my.
So, obviously that doesn't agree with their tummies.
No, I can imagine it doesn't. If you haven't brought it up to your veterinarian yet, that's probably a good thing to do.
We have an appointment coming up soon.
Perfect.
I think I'm going to segue into that, into giving your cat milk.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people think that you can't give them milk, but I hear different things all the time.
Yeah, I don't recommend milk as being an appropriate part of an adult cat's diet, and there are a couple of reasons. First of all, it doesn't provide balanced nutrition, so it's not going to be giving your cat what it needs. And then also there's actually a large proportion of cats out there that are lactose intolerant, believe it or not. So if you're feeding one of those individuals milk, you might be in for some unpleasant surprises in the litter box, shall we say.
What if they don't have a problem with it? Is it okay to give it to them as a treat?
Yeah, if you don't have a lactose intolerant cat, if you're giving them just the smallest amount, I'd recommend that owners keep all treats to about 10% of their cat's total diet. So, you got to kind of add everything up. So it would be a very small amount that might be appropriate under those circumstances.
Okay. Well, how about I see I'm here talking about putting garlic on your cat's food to get rid of worms. I've always heard to give them things with like fish oil in it, like sardines or anchovies.
Yeah, there's a couple of different things going on there. The garlic can actually be dangerous, so I never recommend that people use garlic for their cats. It can actually lead to a destruction of red blood cells and a life-threatening anemia. So garlic's a definite no-no. When you're talking about the fish oils, that is a wonderful way to kind of keep the skin healthy, get that glossy coat we all want from our cats. And you can use a supplement. You can also go to a food that contains high levels of omega-3 fatty acids. That's what you're looking for in the fish oils. And so you can use that MyBowl tool to really help you figure out if the ingredients that have those omega-3 fatty acids are in the food.
That sounds great. Okay, here's another one. How about brushing your cat's teeth? I have a toothbrush for both of my cats, but they hate it.
You're not alone, unfortunately. So the veterinarian in me says absolutely. You need to brush your cat's teeth. You need to do it once a day with a toothbrush or even just a piece of gauze or something on your finger and a feline-approved toothpaste. The realist in me realizes there are many cases where that's just not appropriate. So if you're getting a new kitten and can train them to accept toothbrushing, by all means do for it. If it's turning into a pitched battle every time you attempt to do your cat's teeth, there's other ways to go there. You can talk to your veterinarian about whether they need a dental cleaning, first of all, to clean everything up, get it back to normal. And then there are other alternatives. There are actually some treats and diets that can be to help with oral hygiene, rinses, additives for water, things like that.
Oh, that sounds great. My cats are not big on treats. They actually hate everything I buy.
Yeah. Well, as long as they're eating their food, that's probably not a bad thing. Think of them as chocolate donuts. Nobody really needs them.
You spend money on cat treats, and they're like, no, I'd rather eat plastic.
Sounds like you have some characters there.
I do, and they actually, I guess they grew up like brothers, but the younger one is showing dominance now and chasing the other one into the basement and won't let him come upstairs.
That can happen. Yep.
I think it's because the other one is an inside-outside cat, and then the younger one is an inside cat, and I think maybe he smells other cats on him. Do you think that I should, is that a myth that outside cats can't ever become inside cats?
No, they certainly can become inside cats. It takes persistence and patience. There's no doubt about that. But I always think of it kind of as a tough love thing because cats are just so much safer and healthier when they stay inside. So it really is worth the effort to do that if you can.
Okay. That's great.
Do you have time for one more question?
Yes.
Okay.
I am actually looking at my notes, and I asked you all the questions that I wanted to ask you. So
perfect. Well, I'll just say then that, the PetMD.com's website, the Nutrition Center, they have some really good information there. And then there's also a quiz at the Nutrition Center where you can test your knowledge, and you might win one of 4 $2,500 gift cards and a rebate for a free bag of the Ideal Balance cat food from Hill Science Diet is available there too.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. I'm definitely going to talk about that.
Great. Well,
take
care.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.